This is the Land Rover Defender. And if you've watched this channel for a while, you'll know that I've driven about every version of the Defender since it was relaunched. Everything from the 2 doors to the 3 rows to the off-road and on-road, muddy and sideways, all in Texas. But the one right here, this might be just the sweet spot. It's the 2024 Defender 110X Dynamic SE. Not too short, not too long, not too soft, not too wild, just right. I'm Adam, this is TexasGarage. Let's get into it. All right, let's talk trims for a second. Land Rover gives you a lot of options. The 110 sits in the middle of the Defender lineup between the compact 90, which I have driven, and the extra long 130, which again I have driven. You've got trims like the Base S, this X Dynamic SE, the Ultra Luxe X, and of course the fire-breathing V8 models. For 2025, they've even rolled out a new top dog called OCTA Edition 1. Starts at around $167,000. Wild. This X Dynamic SE starts around $72,000. We'll talk more about pricing a bit later and exactly the sticker that we have for what we're driving here, along with competition and whatnot. But first, let's dive into the exterior design. So what makes this one special? Well, first off, the looks. I mean, come on. Pangea green, dark gray wheels, that tall, boxy stance. This thing just works. It blends classic Defender DNA, like the upright windshield, squared off proportions, and that signature rear mounted spare with just enough modern polish. You've got premium LED lighting, black trim pieces, and the stained gray wheel design that ties it all together. The X Dynamic trim adds some rugged styling details, and the whole thing just feels more purposeful than your average luxury SUV. And check this out. Instead of a lift gate, you get a side hinged rear door. It swings open like a barn door, and that just feels tough. It's practical also, but can be a bit of a hindrance if you like to park backwards. There are cases where a lift gate would probably be more practical. Behind the second row, you've got 34 cubic feet of cargo space. Fold the seats down, and it jumps up over 78. That's right in the Goldilocks zone, bigger than the Defender 90, easier to live with than the 130. Now, we don't have a rubberized floor in this thing, so whenever you do throw things back here, they tend to slide around a lot, which is kind of the only inconvenience I found with the cargo area during my time with this thing. You also do have connectivity back here. There's a plug, there's an accessory port, and you've got buttons to raise and lower the suspension from the rear. So if you're loading it up with some heavy stuff and you don't want to lift it too high, you can lower the rear suspension to help get it in easier. Moving on to the engine, let's pop that hood. This Defender runs the P400 powertrain, Land Rover's 3.0 liter mild hybrid inline-six. It makes 395 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. It's smooth, it's powerful, and honestly, I think it's the engine most people should go for. You can step up to the supercharged V8 if you want bragging rights, but for everyday use, this thing's got more than enough punch. All right, step inside, and the Defender keeps that rugged but refined feel. This isn't Range Rover plush, but it's not trying to be. It's honest, durable, functional, and still feels premium. Let me give you a good look around. All right, let's quickly run through the interior. You do get a push button start, an electronic gear shifter, put it into reverse. You do get the backup camera, which has a lot of nice features, including an off-road mode. And you can drive with this thing pretty much any speed and the camera will not turn off. You also have a towing camera. This is only a 10-inch screen, so it is on the smaller side for screens these days. It's also not great quality. You can't really see it in the eye, but you'll definitely notice on camera there's a lot of either flickering or waves and lines in the screen, and that's just indicative of a lower resolution panel. You do have connectivity to the infotainment system, and that's through your USB Type-C or A ports down here. You also have a USB-C port up here for just charging, which I like. And this whole little shelf with the Defender nameplate there is nice. And of course, this little grab bar up here for whenever you're really hitting it off-road. We do have the Meridian sound system as well, which does sound pretty good for this thing. I'm no audiophile, so don't take my word for it. I like the whole aesthetic of the interior, where you can see some of the bare metal in places, but also some nice luxury appointments. Not too luxurious, but a nice place to be. A lot of your other controls are mapped out right here, and some of these are dual function controls. So these change the dual climate control. This vehicle actually has triple climate control, so you can control the rear climate on its own. But you push this button in here, and this will control your fan speed, or it goes back to your climate control. You can push in here and adjust your heated and cooled seat. And then your button here is for your terrain management. You don't get any information here, but it does pop up here on the screen, and it also pops up on your digital information display as you adjust your terrain management. And we can cycle from eco to comfort to grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts, sand, rock crawl, and then wade. And as soon as you put it into wade, the entire thing starts raising itself automatically. And you can see that here. So you can manually raise and lower this thing as well. You also have your hill descent control, traction control, low speed modes, turning on and off your automatic start stop, engaging some of your climate features. All really nice, and I like the smaller arrangement with some dual functions, even though I've heard other people kind of complain about it. You also have cup holders back here, a wireless phone charger, armrest is nice, cubby is nice and deep. And I'm pretty sure in the last one I had this was a cold box, but this one is just a regular cubby. Steering wheel is what you would expect from the Defender, all the same controls as you would expect. And again, we have that digital information display that gives you plenty of good information and can be toggled through. With quite a few different layouts here. I kind of like the traditional 2-dial setup. And then of course we do have the large moonroof here, and in the very back you have those 2 cutouts, which is great for overlanding or camping in this thing. But with all of that, let's go ahead and get this thing out on the road. On the road, the Defender 110 drives better than it has any right to. For something this boxy and capable, it's actually smooth, quiet, and composed. It's not sporty, but that's not really the point. It's confident, solid, and comfortable. This one has the air suspension option selected, which makes highway cruising even better. And you can raise and lower it depending on the terrain you're running into. And just like every Defender I've driven, I really like the driving feel of this thing. It's smooth on the roads. You feel in command. You do sit tall, but it's not obnoxious. And from the driver's perspective, everything is easy to use, easy to touch. There are a few quirks, obviously, but basically every vehicle has its quirks. The rear seat is large, plenty of space for rear passengers. I had them 3 wide in the back, no issues. I can fit in the back, no issues. The 3-row 130 is a bit tighter for passengers, but is actually really good. The 2-door 90 has a back seat. You can fit people back there, but it's a bit difficult to get people in and out, even though it has those long doors. Getting through the passenger seat into the rear is a bit of a hassle, but you can check all of that out in some of my other reviews on those vehicles. Now, I didn't get to take this exact Defender off-road this week, but I have driven previous models in some gnarly conditions, mud, rock, water crossings, you name it. The twin speed transfer case, terrain response, hill descent control, it all works incredibly well. And it's not just for show. This thing's the real deal, and it obviously is known for its capability. With that, let's pull over and we'll talk about the price and competition. Here's a pricing recap. The base Defender 110S, $60,800. The X Dynamic SE starts around $72,000. This one, as tested, $81,923. So basically $82,000 for what I'm sitting in here, which definitely is not the top of the line. You also have the V8 Carpathian Edition, which is over $110,000. And then that OCTA Edition 1 is around $168,000. Basically, there's a Defender for just about every budget, as long as your budget starts around $60,000, which for everything that it does, I think that $60,000 base range is a good price. But what are some of its top competitors? You can look at the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trailhawk. It has similar off-road chops and a lower price tag, but it's not as distinctive. The new Toyota Land Cruiser is back for 2024 with tons of heritage, but I haven't driven it yet. And again, not quite in the same range as this. And then you have the Mercedes G-Class, which I love and have driven, but it's close to double the price of this, closer to that top of the line price, but also super capable. The Defender really carves out its own space. It's got style, real capability, and just feels cool. Let's jump out and I'll give you some of my final thoughts. So final thoughts, if you want something that can tackle dirt trails, haul your gear, look great doing it, and still be comfortable enough for the daily commute, the Defender 110 X Dynamic SE is kind of the sweet spot. I've driven them all. I like them all, but this is a great middle ground. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Defender. Would you do the 90, the 110, or the 130? Would you go 6-cylinder or 8? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We do a different review every week. Lots of great content on the channel. Also, go check out TXGarage.com, where we've got a lot of written reviews as well as event and news coverage from a lot of great authors over there, not just myself. Really worth checking out, TXGarage.com. With that, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching.